In this video, I'm going to show you some of the content you may have been missing out on with the Sammy Atomiswave arcade platform, and I'm going to provide a download link so you can get all of this unlocked yourself without having to jump through the absolutely absurd hoops. Unlockable and hidden content isn't something I would generally associate with arcade games, and I was shocked to learn just how many titles have unlockable characters, cars, game modes, etc. Most of these games have a different method for unlocking their content, whether that be the use of engineers' codes on a time release, completing the game, or changing the region to allow for different settings like blood. Now, this actually really bothers my OCD brain, because unless you research these titles, go in and change them in their test menus to unlock everything, you're missing out on a bunch of content, and in the case of some titles, you're missing out on pretty much half the game. So I'm on a mission to find out what games have unlockable content, unlock it, and then provide that to you guys, so you haven't got to jump through all of these stupid hoops. I'm starting this series off small with Atomiswave because it's only got about 25 games, 7 of which have unlockable content. So let's take a look at those 7 games. Faster Than Speed has 4 unlockable cars, the type 9, 10, 11 and 12. And normally you'd need to complete the game multiple times to get these unlocked, but by simply changing this setting in its test menu, they are already unlocked and ready to go.
Bring it on!
The King of Fighters Neo Wave has 6 unlockable characters, and this is done with an engineer's password in the game's test menu. And once you've done that, you need to hold start on the following characters in the character select screen, and there you'll see your hidden characters. The King of Fighters 11 has 5 additional characters: Aldehyde, Gaizu, Silver, Guy and Hayate, and this takes multiple days of power on, as this unlock is on a time release. Blood with this title is off by default and actually requires the region changing to other to be enabled, as apparently some regions were too sensitive to see blood at the time. And the same can be said for the blood in Metal Slug 6, which is off by default and needed some finagling to actually get enabled. But I got there in the end with this one, and we now have red blood. Neo Geo Battle Coliseum has the most egregious time lock I've ever come across, with the system needed to be powered on for 74 days before it will unlock its full roster of characters, which is pretty savage.
No escape! Fight!
The Rumblefish allows you to play as its boss character Greed. This is done by using a password in its test menu. However, it just allows you to enter the cheat code that then selects him. But I'm going to put that cheat code in the description below.
Round 1. Fight!
The Rumblefish 2 has 3 unlockable characters: Greed, Hamza and Beatrice. Now Greed and Hamza are selectable from the character select screen, however Beatrice is only selectable with a cheat code, and I'll put that in the description below as well. This game also has a time attack and a survival mode, however you do need to use a button combination to be able to access those, and again I'll pop those in the description below. And finally, Samurai Spirits. If you change this game to North America in its test menu, it actually changes the title screen to Samurai Showdown 6, which is pretty cool. And you can also change the voice to English here as well. So not really a unlock, more a feature, but it's worth mentioning anyway. There we go, that's all of the unlocks for Sammy Atomiswave. Now there is one more thing I do want to speak about that isn't an unlock, and that is audio. Most of these games in their test menus have their audio set to mono, and setting this to stereo definitely enhances the experience. And another thing that I like to do is to set all of these games to free play, just so I don't have to coin them up. One thing that I almost forgot to mention is that some of these games are going to be in Japanese, unless you change them in their test menus to an English speaking region. So if you want to get all of this content unlocked but not have to wait 74 days for it, you can just bring yourself over to this Launchbox forum page here and download the NVMem files from this link here, and then just place those into the correct folder of your emulator of choice. Now I've actually provided NVMem files for every single Atomiswave game, and I've made sure that all of these are set to English, they're set to stereo and free play. Everything's been unlocked, all light game games have been calibrated. So essentially this is a full package. And please do check over the documentation here, because I've listed out all of the passwords, all of the engineers codes. So yeah, if you want to check what I've done, please do take a look. So there we go, that's all of the unlocks that I was able to find for Sammy Atomiswave, and you can rest assured that you are not missing out on anything. Now in the next video we're moving on to its cousin, the Sega Naomi, which had a lot more unlockable content due to the fact that it's got 100+ games. So if you want to stay up to date with this, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell, and if you like today's video, slam me a like, and if you're really nice, please do consider the Patreon. And apart from that, go play some games. Adios.